Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Gospel of Ramakrishna. Warning to Nitya Gopal, a boy who is to enter into ecstatic moods. A school-going boy, very young, and we saw how he used to manifest the divinity. And the divinity used to make the people endear him dearly and with a worshipful attitude. And one of the woman devotees, to take him to worship him at home, feeding him as the Bala Gopala. So Sri Ramakrishna is warning even him, though he is not a sannyasi, but he is a pure devotee of God. He should not miss that path. He has to finish his journey. Sri Ramakrishna's intention is the smallest diversion from the path of yoga may take lives of lives to regain that yogahood. So, as a general instruction to all sadhakas, be careful. Kshurasya dhara nishita duratya. Very difficult path this is. It is like walking on a sword. Slightest will harm to again cure that cut that you are devoid. Once a small deviation, I lived in a forest. We used to go in a direction. Suppose one tree you slip and move in the direction, a small angle is shifted. Maybe 1 second, not even a minute or a degree. Just a second might have changed the direction. When you go walk about 2-3 kilometers, you see you are deviated 2-3 kilometers away from the main path. So that differentiation, small, Sri Ramakrishna doesn't want the sadhakas who are going in the spiritual path not to divert the attention, even slightest degree, that this should not be diverted. So Nitya Gopal is entering into higher moods of spiritual awareness. So he doesn't want him to have any kind of diversion. At the same time, he wants him to be one with all, to respect, to honor, to love, but at the same time be away and to the extent necessary indulge. So here he is in a lofty mood to Nitya Gopal, directly looking at the Nitya Gopal. He's telling, don't go there too often. You may go once in a while. So he is to, when I see a person whom I endear, I want that person to come every day and meet me, or I go to meet that person. Intimacy develops and confidence develops, trust in each other develops. So we entertain meeting almost every day. So but here, because everything is alright, she is looking upon him as God. Yet Sri Ramakrishna is warning, as a common warning to all, don't go there too often. You may go once in a while. Why that once in a while limitation is given? To that separation should not carry the person within mind. Here the woman and gold, what Sri Ramakrishna says about the awareness of the opposite sex, that divine hood, once in a while you go, you see a divine being there. Otherwise, woman will remain a woman in the mind. to destroy this womanhood in the mind, he has to go once in a while, honor, respect, see the Divine Mother in her, mentally bow down and be in and come away, so that inner woman who was there in the mind as woman may dissolve and the divinehood in the motherhood and divinehood in a woman may shine and destroy the kama bhava in the jiva once in a while. This is an important part of teachings. Don't go very often. Slowly the intimacy brings contempt. Familiarity brings contempt. That contempt and looseness, that a kind of comradeship should not enter. Each must be at the spiritual level. Once in a way, when you meet, the spiritual relationships is maintained. If you leave away and separate and start remaining, you are carrying that within you. The seed will not be destroyed. It will not be what was. You are not supposed to see a woman as divine, till you realize the Divine Mother in every woman. That aspect, the woman as woman will remain in the mind. This woman as woman is destroyed when a person goes once in a way to a woman who is highly devotional and absolutely pure to the core and meet and that spiritual level of meeting, a few seconds, a few minutes, being with great reverence and coming back, that woman is slowly destroyed. The manhood is destroyed, womanhood is destroyed, and the soul raises to the pure divinity when he is one day able to see the Divine Mother in all beings. So Sri Ramakrishna kept two things with him. He is one, that mother, actual mother in the Dahabat, in the upper and lower apartments of the same Dahabat with mother. He kept his wife, whom he worshipped as Divine Mother. Whenever their contact was almost zero, she far off, in different, as if different countries they are standing and looking at each other. No possibility of meeting. Sri Ramakrishna is in ecstatic state, day and night, dancing and living with the bhaktas. She has to see as through a small hole Sri Ramakrishna. There was no personal contact. Till they went to the Kasipur garden in last cancer days, where she had the opportunity to cook and serve every day. So last is. So here we see the mother, Divine Mother and wife is being absolute oneness. There is no difference between the mother who is worshipped in the temple as Divine Mother, and this is the one ideal of the Sri Ramakrishna which he wanted to present to the world. Live as sages. The sagehood of the Vedic times and the Rishihood of this Vedic times, to look upon every woman as Divine Mother, and to the extent ultimate to worship one's own wife as a Divine Mother, was brought into picture here. This is an important transformation, change in the society that Sri Ramakrishna expects. Live in the world and transcend the nature and live in the world. So she may be a devotee, but she is woman too. Therefore I warn you. The sannyasi must observe strict discipline. He must not look even at the picture of a woman. How much difficult, and this one is taught, you see. But this rule does not apply to the householders. An aspirant should not associate with a woman even though she is very much devoted to God. Here he becomes very clear regarding to be careful about the opposite sex. Here woman is brought into picture because he is addressing the men there. Similarly, if he addresses men, be careful about the. If he addresses the women, then he would say, be careful about the men. So like that, here an aspirant should not associate with a woman, even though she is. Here the association is brought into picture. Association, getting associated is different from being in the company. Now, when we as sannyasis, we move about in the world, women are unavoidable. We may have to travel in the same bus, same flight, same car, same vehicle, which is inevitable. We live in the same world. We go to a shop where women will be there. Throughout the world, we cannot eliminate women, nor we can isolate from this world. When we have the dual aspect of our existence, the Atmana Mokshatam, Jagat Hitaya Cha, when this dual is there, you cannot avoid women by any means, but you should not associate with it to the extent that one will have a contempt over the other. Familiarity brings contempt. We should not step down to the material level. Association means when you come down to the human level or to the material level. This is association. To be in the company is to be at a higher level of consciousness where one is honored. I come and go. I see and offer my salutations and go away. Wherever you see a woman, a sannyasi is asked, wherever you see a woman, bow down mentally. Identify her with the Divine Mother. Identification, equation, equating her to the Divine Mother. Look at her, bow down mentally and go ahead. Now, that is why in Ramakrishna tradition, 9 years of brahmacharya period is free from the brahmacharis have very strict life of dedicating themselves. They are made to meet so that the woman dissolves in but not allowed to get associated with them, so that they step down to the bodily level or material level. The association is banned, but meeting once in a way a higher level of consciousness, people who are extremely devoted to God, who are unaware of their bodily existence, such women who are in the state of pure motherhood, the Divine Mother, they are manifesting the divinity. Suppose there is a woman who is manifesting her divinity and standing as mother, for just a visit transforms your inner. What is transformed? Same. A man is there who is a saint. If you go to that saint, a man may not lose the manhood or the sex idea, he may not. It may remain because there is no impact. But when a woman saint is there and a man approaches, looking at that, the manhood is destroyed but the association for a long time, her mind may not fall down, but the associating person's mind may fall down. So honor, love, worship Go down, but be away till you are able to see Divine Mother in all aspects of women's existence. This is the instruction for every sadhaka. If we take woman into picture, the instruction to woman, be aware of the opposite sex. Generally we use the term be aware of, because that is a drive of the nature. It is not only a craving of the mind and heart. It is not only a craving, it's a drive of the nature. Two important principles. Every jiva is imposed by two principles of nature. One is self-preservation and preservation of species. Self-preservation. One has to preserve one's whole life. One has to preserve every jiva, every living being has to preserve his own life. And just like a tree, before the tree dies away, it throws thousands of seeds and goes. Like that, so throwing thousands, that when let vegetation be there, I have to go, I am going. Like that, every species leaves its offspring and goes away, disappears. The species will continue. Preservation of species is a nature's principle. So it's drive in every soul to have progeny, leave the progeny behind and go. So also in human also. It is natural. It is not a sinful to have children or have offsprings. But we have a higher purpose of transcending the nature and go, not yielding to our nature. Yielding to nature makes me slave of the objective world. Yielding to nature makes me a slave of the objective nature. But the opposite, I have to transcend the nature world, self-control, sanyama, and then transcending the nature. So yielding to nature and conquest of nature are different, two different things. It is natural, yes it is natural, but will you be slave of nature all through your life and lives to come? Will you not transcend and go beyond? So here we come into the, though it is natural, you have to conquer, not yield, but conquer. We give up the slavery and then acquire the masterhood over the nature. For that sake, it is not a sinful act, but it is a harmful act that binds you and gives you constant suffering. There it's constant unbroken bliss, enjoyment. So why we are giving up the world and chase behind the world is because it is painful. It constantly gives suffering, constantly keeps us bound to that. Here is freedom and joy and bondage and suffering. So this Sri Ramakrishna wants this to enjoy that higher bliss, higher peace, higher freedom by giving up the small pursuits of the nature. Why he is warning so much? Because it's a nature's drive. You have to conquer nature and go. Never see that you don't yield to nature at any time, but conquest. Whether you are alone, you may be away from women years, centuries after centuries also. The woman within may not die away. Because still you are in the realm of nature. But when you counteract, when you face and transcend, that is your greatness. That alone leads you to the eternal bliss. But this rule does not apply to the householders. An aspirant should not associate with a woman even though she is very much devoted to God. A sannyasi, even though he may have subdued his passion, should follow this discipline to set an example to the householder. It is not going to harm him by any means because he has transcended Just like a child has transcended playing with dolls when he becomes grown up and is going to college, he no more enjoys, nor he needs, nor his attention is drawn by the toys. In the same way, he has transcended and gone beyond, and woman and gold or any enjoyments of the world doesn't attract him or bind him. Still, he has to, for the sake of others, to maintain the social codes and to give push for the others, to be an example for others, he has to avoid. Worldly people learn renunciation by seeing thee and subsequent should follow discipline to set an example to the householders, not to the other sannyasins. Be an if you renounce totally, each time they come and go, they will not be attached to they may enjoy a little here, there, but each enjoyment creates a guilt within and slowly makes him learn to transcend the nature and become free. Freedom is the most important part. Freedom comes from renunciation. Renunciation should not be tearing away. It must be because of growth. Children, I make them, they want many things of the eatables which are harmful to them. Junk food and ice cream, such things constantly, all through the day if you feed also, they are not satisfied. Now, how will you make them, give them knowledge and understanding? With various audio visuals, make them understand the harm, consequences of all this. That not only they avoid, they may take a little here, there, to the extent it is not harmful. And also they will see that others also do not. Children, warn others, elders, if you give right understanding to them. Not only they give up, but they see that others are not harmed by those things. So this for the teaching the household, I have to live a perfect life because he is an example for the householders to be able to remain uninvolved. They have to remain in the world. How to remain uninvolved? This is the setting an example. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna clearly tells about this. Don't disturb the mentality of the people. They run after the enjoyments. They run after the world. They run after the possessions. But don't disturb them. Let them go in their path. But show them how to remain uninvolved, unentangled, and be in the world. That is an important instruction. Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sankina joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samachara. Show them how to work in the world, how to be in the world, how to remain uninvolved amidst the people and other things. So this teaching is an essential thing. You don't get involved anyway. You remain untouched by the world. You live amidst the world, at the same time not of that world at all. Like that, when you start living, that your life transforms the other's life. They will learn from you. That is the Sri Ramakrishna. Worldly people learn renunciation by seeing the complete renunciation of a monk. To the extent they need to renounce, they need not renounce everything. All they need in life they may possess. Greed they have to avoid. Excessive kama, krodha, all this limited to make the world, the movements possible. To that extent, keep the anger and all that to the small level of being, having total self-control. You may show a little anger. Like that, that kind of living. Complete renunciation of a monk. Here, complete renunciation they are practiced to the extent possible, remaining unaffected, and as much as possible they renounce. Renunciation is always through evolution to higher level, not tearing away. What all they possess is not torn away. They are not going to leave. They overgrow to see all their possessions are there in their state, but they are not attached to that. They possess it without attachment. There is dispassion. If we see seeing sannyasi renounced everything, they possess everything with dispassion. Otherwise, they may sink more and more. A sannyasi is a world teacher. Sannyasi is a world teacher. Sri Ramakrishna divides his group into two aspects. One is the inner circle and the outer circle. Inner circle is the renunciates, group of renunciates who has renounced everything for God and holding on to God alone. The outsider is who are living in the world and householders but totally devoted to God and spiritual life. They are like Gupta sannyasis. Hidden inside is the unattached existence living in the world. So he divides into householders and sannyasis. Sannyasis will be always a few. They are presenting the absolute perfection and divine ideals to 100%. They have to. The others need not do. They can possess everything. They are unattached to that. Like the worldly people are attached and possessing. These people are possessing unattached. The worldly people are entering into enjoyments with craving, but these people are just participating in small enjoyments without getting attached or without craving. They may eat a little something, sometimes here, there, but it doesn't affect them. As long as something helps them to go towards God. If I saw one group of children, when I went to their home, all were sitting for food in front of a television, TV. They are eating and looking at the TV. Something is coming in that small children, about 10-12 children in the one home, joint family. I thought, oh, what is going to happen to these children? All the time, even taking food time, they are looking at the TV and sitting. Elders are all sitting with them and looking and eating. Then next day morning I met these children and asked, what is this? What are your marks? How are you faring in school? What is your... Each is getting more than 95%. I asked, how are you able to manage your studies and looking at the TV? They said, no Swamiji, my Badi Ma, the eldest woman in the house, she doesn't allow us to. Only night she gives 1 hour to see the TV and of our choice. Each one will have his own choice each day and we watch till we finish our food. The moment it's over, she comes and puts it on. And this 1 hour of seeing gives us such an impetus and calmness that I can devote all my rest of time peacefully in my studies. I was wondering, we see for short time and it helps, it relaxes our mind from the strain of studies and makes us study peacefully. How they're seeing, but they're utilizing for their spiritual, their studies. Similarly, we, the householders, possess and do everything at the same time. They will be able to devote more and more time with small enjoyments here and there, sightseeing, eating, this and they will be able to peacefully spend their time in spiritual practices. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampadhritavikraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama.